Ink Ribbon.
Okay, today I am going on record. The number one thing that you guys ask me on Twitter or in my DMs or wherever is what my favorite Resident Evil is. Is this Resident Evil better than that Resident Evil? Like blah blah blah. So today everything is going to be official now. I am going to rank them. I should mention that I have a degree in game design, so I'm going to be very strict on these. Just throwing that out there from a player perspective and from a dev perspective. This one's easy. First and foremost, Resident Evil 2. First one I played, best one in the series, nothing will ever beat it for me. Thank you, good night. Dark Side Chronicles. I'm gonna put that in B for now. It's a rail shooter. But I will say, Claire never looked prettier than in Dark Side Chronicles. Code Veronica. God. Okay, I'm gonna put that in A. Code Veronica was amazing, but it has some of the most glaring gameplay design flaws. One of the biggest ones is it's really easy to forget the grenade launcher or accidentally leave things in the chest when you play as Claire, and then you can't access them as Chris or vice versa, and that can literally cause you to restart. So that's like the Achilles heel for me of that game. But if you know how to play it, you know, you can do okay. Outbreak, I'm gonna put it in the A rank as well as File 2. Where's File 2? Oh, here it is. Yeah, the Outbreak games, I want to put them in the S rank, but the online was a mess. It was just ahead of its time. If that game was made today, it'd probably do a lot better. Resident Evil 4, also in... Oh god, I don't know Resident Evil 4, because here's the thing, I know that Resident Evil 4 is what initially divided the Resident Evil fandom, but regardless of what you think, it's a great game. Plus, you know, this is the first time we got to see Leon since Resident Evil 2, and so many games have copied Resident Evil 4. I'm putting this in S rank. Like, it's great. Oh, this one's gonna make people angry. The original Resident Evil, the very first one. I'm gonna put that in C. Listen, I started with 2, and then I went back and played 1, and it was quite the downgrade. I'm sorry. I'll be a little more generous. I'll move it to B, because it did, you know, it was the first of its kind. They didn't have anything to go off of. By the way, I did my Dino Crisis stream like 4 days ago, and my hair's still red. So, when they tell you it washes out in one shampoo, they're lying. Anyway, Resident Evil Remake of the first game, A. They did a fantastic job. They fixed everything that could have possibly been fixed or improved from the original, and I have to give them credit for that. The graphics were amazing. The environments are so good in Resident Evil 1 Remake, and that's what Resident Evil is really all about. Resident Evil 2 Remake, also S. They took my favorite game of all time, and they made it different enough to be its own thing, but we're still faithful to the original. And then we have Resident Evil 3 Remake. I don't know where to put this one, because it's great, but I'm also very disappointed, and I have never been so torn. I'm gonna put this in B for now. I'm just doing these in the order that they're listed here, but yeah, it's just Resident Evil 3 suffers from reused assets. It's not faithful to the original game. They left out entire sections of the original game, whereas Resident Evil 2 Remake had everything we expected, and it set us up with expectations for Resident Evil 3, which did not deliver at all, and that was very disappointing as a Resident Evil fan. But it is still a great game. Resident Evil 5. I'll put this in B. I played this with friends and then I played without friends, and oh my god, it makes a huge difference. I know that everyone complains about the AI for your partner, but it did too much to the Resident Evil 4 formula in the wrong direction. It, like, I don't know. It's not a bad game, but it could have been better. Then moving on to Resident Evil 6. Ooh. I'm also gonna put that in B. Resident Evil 6, I know what Capcom was trying to do. They were trying to please everybody, and you can't do that. Because ever since Resident Evil 4 had come out, there was now the classic fans and then the new fans, and then Capcom didn't know what to do, and they tried to meet it in the middle with Leon's campaign being more horror-based, and then Sherry and Jake's was kind of reminiscent of like the Nemesis chasing you, and then Chris and Pierce was just like the action. It was just too much. Plus, don't even get me started on the Ada storyline. Oh, Resident Evil 7. This one is really difficult because as a game, Resident Evil 7 is fantastic. It's scary, it makes me jump, it's got beautiful environments, amazing atmosphere, but it's not Resident Evil, and that is the biggest thing about it that I don't know where it fits on this board, because am I rating this as a Resident Evil fan or just as games in general? I think this one's also 4, 5, 6, and 7 are going in the B rank. That's the, I don't know. This is hard. This is like surprisingly hard. Resident Evil Dead Aim is very atmospheric. I only played like the first third of it, maybe the first half, and I love the environments. It felt like Outbreak, but oh man, the story and the gameplay and all of that. I don't know where to put it. I'll put it in C. Maybe I'm not being as hard as I thought I would be. I did a Let's Play of Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy Color, and it's actually, it adapts the gameplay from Sweet Home, which is the game that Resident Evil was inspired by, which I thought was kind of cool. It's a Game Boy game. There's only so much you can do. I'll put that in C. You know, if you want to check out my Let's Play, it's on my channel. It wasn't too bad. The music's a little grating. Ooh, Revelations, definitely A. Revelations did such a great job of what 6 was trying to do, where they took the horror and the action and they combined it. I really like it, and they did more with the story than I think any Resident Evil game had ever done, because they were really inspired by like American drama shows and stuff like that. Umbrella Chronicles, D. It was a cash grab. Darkside Chronicles is where they actually put in some effort, but Umbrella Chronicles was the first iteration, and it's very uninspired. And like when they did, I don't know what it is about Resident Evil 3 and Capcom, but they love to skimp on it, because the Resident Evil 3 section of Umbrella Chronicles was all reused assets from Outbreak. And then they like had Jill like doing things from the Resident Evil movies. It was a mess.
No!
Resident Evil Survivor, I'll put that in C. A lot of people seem to hate on it. I played it, it was fine. It's a good way to, like, I don't know, kill an hour, because you can beat the game pretty quickly. Is that a C or a D? I'll put that in D, because now I'm having like a little bit of flashbacks. Anyway, Resident Evil 0 is probably one of my least favorite titles of the main series. It felt so boring. I don't know how to describe it. Like, there's just something that was missing from the formula. It's like everything was there, but for some reason it didn't work for me. However, I loved that you could leave items on the floor, even though they got rid of the item box. The environments were great. Being on a train was really cool. It's actually inspired the game that I'm working on right now. But I don't really care for Rebecca, and Billy was really cool, but like, I don't know, there was just not enough there for me to merit it. I'll put that in the C rank. Resident Evil Mercenaries for the 3DS. It is exactly what you think it is. I'll put that in C, just because it's all it is. It's Mercenaries. Also, they have a feature where on the cartridge, once you have progress on it, you cannot erase it. So if you buy it used, you get whatever the progress of the previous owner is, and there's nothing you can do about it. I am not qualifying Umbrella Corps because I literally have not played it at all. I'll probably do a video of that where I actually try it for you guys, but we're gonna leave that out. Operation Raccoon City is definitely a D or an F. I don't like these kinds of games. It's a completely different gameplay style. And on top of the enemies being bullet sponges, like all of that dumb stuff, I could deal with that. But when they made me kill Leon and Claire, which I know was optional, but I was like, well, they're not going to make me do that. So of course I chose kill Leon, and then I killed Leon, and then Claire's like begging you not to shoot her, and then you shoot her too and take Sherry or whatever. I was like, oh, no. There's messing up the canon, and then there's that. No. I'm sorry. From a gameplay perspective and from a story perspective, I was not a fan of Operation Raccoon City. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, S rank, because duh. Again, my favorite thing about Resident Evil is the environments and getting to explore the city, and there's survivors running around, and you got to like see Jill going back to the RPD, and oh my god, it was amazing. Plus, I mean, the Nemesis is one of the most iconic villains in the series. Revelations 2, I'm also going to put that in the A rank. Claire Redfield, I'm always there for. However, this was the first time she was not played by Allison Court, and I was really not happy about that. That was like the start of all of that. But it was cool that we got to see Barry again. I think it's the only game that Barry has been in since the original. Yeah, Revelations 2 has everything that Revelations 1 had and more. And Claire. Okay, now here's where you guys are going to think this is weird. So I said the original Resident Evil is a B rank for me. Deadly Silence, which is the like reworked version of it, I'm going to put that in the S rank. Because I actually love playing that version. They fixed all the control problems that I didn't like, and they added new modes and new costumes, and just they added so much that it now works. I really didn't like the original, but I love the DS version. If you ever get to play the original Resident Evil and you don't own it or whatever, I think the DS version is by far the best version to own. Resident Evil Resistance, to end this list. You know, a lot of people are going to get mad at me for this one, but I'm going to put that in... No, I'll put that in A. I'm not going to get cocky. Listen, Resistance has brought me so many hours of entertainment. I've got to play with my friends. I don't play online games. I love the characters. I love the backstory. It's not Outbreak, but it's close enough that it fills that void in my heart that Outbreak left. And I don't know, there's just something about Resistance that is really, really special, and I hope that it continues. I hope that more people get into it, and maybe we'll see Resistance 2, or maybe it will lead to more Outbreak games. I don't know. So there you go. That is my personal ranking of all of the Resident Evil games, minus Umbrella Corps, because I've never played it, and that's not fair, although I'm guessing that would probably be a C or a D for me. That's it. So everyone who's ever asked me, I hope that this answers that question, and I would love to know if you guys agree with me or disagree with me, and why. So let me know down in the comments. But I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon. And a very special thank you to my bronze, silver, and gold Patreon supporters. Thanks to you, I can make videos without worrying about demonetization and grow my channel faster.